All right, math mates, here we go. It's dividing fraction time. Woohoo! All right, before we get started, we got to take a look at Emoji Betsy. Look at those cool shades she's wearing. Fun fact, math mates, octopuses have 3 hearts, 9 brains, and blue blood. They are highly intelligent and have incredible adaptability. If you didn't know it, now you do. Let's get on with our problem. 6 divided by 24 divided by 12 divided by 9. Remember, a fraction is just division. So 6 over 24 divided by 12 over 9. When we divide fractions, we've got a little bit of work to do here because we actually need to change our problem to multiplication. So that's what we're going to do first here. So I'm going to rewrite this problem using multiplication. So bring down the first fraction, 6 over 24. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to change the division to multiplying. And right after you change that to multiplication, you flip the second fraction. So flip it over. There you go. Now all we have to do is our multiplication. But for practice, I want to make these fractions smaller. And how do we do that? By reducing. So remember, any top with any bottom. This first fraction, I got a 6 and a 24. Well, 6 goes into 24 evenly, so we might as well reduce that. 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 24 4 times. So now I have 1/4 times 9/12. Is there any other top and any other bottom I can reduce? Well, when I look at 9/12, is there a number that goes into both 9 and 12? Well, 9 is 1 times 9 or 1 or 3 times 3. Do any of these numbers, other than 1, because 1 is completely reduced, any of these numbers go into 12? Well, 3 does. So I can say 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I just reduced that. Now I have this. Are we okay with that? Remember, it's a top with a bottom. Can I cross out these 2 4s that are both on the bottom of the fractions? No, it has to be a numerator and a denominator. So there's nothing else I can do. So I just multiply across the top, 1 times 3, and across the bottom, 4 times 4. And I get 3 over 16. And this fraction is called a proper fraction because the smaller number is on top. The numerator has the smaller number. That's why it's called a proper fraction. It's good to know the terms, especially if you're doing any kind of state testing in that. You want to know the terminology in math. That's why I keep coming back to it. All right, let's take a look at the next problem. What do we have here? So let's make it a little bigger here. Dividing fractions again, but Emoji Betsy's over here talking about some kind of trivia. So let's take a quick look. What is the world's smallest mammal? It weighs in at less than a penny. If you want to think about it, stop the video. Otherwise, I'll tell you the answer at the end. So here we go. So again, we've got 2 fractions that we're going to divide. 35 over 8 divided by 5 over 4. The first thing we need to do for all the division is change them to multiplication. So I change it to multiplication, and right after to change the multiplication, that next fraction has to be flipped. So now I have this. Now, again, we got some pretty big numbers. 35 is a pretty big number. So let's see if we can do any reducing. Any top with any bottom. Well, 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 35 7 times. So now I have this 7/8 times 4/1. That's much better, but I think we can do better yet. Look at the 4 and the 8. There's a 4 on the top and an 8 on the bottom. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 8 twice, so I can reduce both of these by 4. 4 into 4 is 1. 4 into 8 is 2. Now I have 7/2 times 1/1, which is 7/2. Now this is called an improper fraction. Do you know why it's called an improper fraction? Anyone? All right, it's called an improper fraction because the bigger number is on top. So let's change this improper fraction to a mixed number, which is a number and a fraction together. So look at the bottom number, the 2 here, and ask yourself, how many 2's can go into 7? 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 7, right? So 3 2's. 3 2's can go into 7. And that leaves 1 left over. And you put that over your denominator. And there's your answer. So what is the smallest animal? Excuse me, blah. It is a bumblebee bat. Get a chance to look it up. I didn't know that one, so I thought it would be kind of interesting. All right, let's go on. Let's go on to the next one. Here we are. Now, take a look here. What is Betsy up to now? The probability of you being born is about 1 in 400 trillion. 1 in 400 trillion, you guys. That's crazy. We should be lucky that we're born. In this problem, it's a little different. We've got a mixed number. 2 2/5 is a mixed number because it has a number and a fraction together. So we have to get rid of that mixed number before we do anything else. And how do we do that? Do you guys remember how to do that? We take 2 times 5, which is 10, and then you add the top. So 2 times 5 is 10 plus the top 2. So we get 12/5. So the first thing we did was get rid of that mixed number. Now, what do we do next? In all our division problems, we have to change from division to multiplication. Remember, when you change this to multiplication, you have to flip the fraction right after it. There we go. Are we okay there? Now, can we reduce anything? I like my numbers to be as small as possible. So if I look at this 12 and 10, they're both even. So I know at least 2 goes into both of those. What multiplies the 10? 1 and 10 or 2 and 5? 1 doesn't do anything for us. Will 10 go into 12 evenly? No. Will 5 go into 12 evenly? No. So all we can do is reduce by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. You following me, mathmates? Now, we're left with 6/5 times 3/5. My next question to you, can I reduce those 5's out? I've got 2 5's. 5 divided by 5 is 1. What do you think? Can I cross those 5's off? No, because they're both on the bottom. They're both denominators. Remember, it has to be a numerator and a denominator. How about the 6 and 3? 3 goes into both of those. Can I reduce those? No, because they're both on top. So all we have left that we can do is multiply across the top and across the bottom. And we're done. What kind of fraction is this? The numerator is the smaller number, so it's a proper fraction. Good job, math mates. Have an awesome day, and I would really appreciate if you pass this along and you subscribe.